Hello. How are you? Okay, that's better. Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera angle set up properly. How is everybody? Um, I am not going to wait for chat to pop up. I'm just going to go ahead and say what I have to say. But welcome to all the people who are lurking. Welcome to all the people watching on replay. Hey, Aunt, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So I have been getting a huge giggle out of watching all of these triggered Zoomers who no longer have access to TikTok and who are going to Red Note and getting all red pilled on China. Hi, Rosie. And thinking that China is some kind of socialist workers' paradise. Hey, Beth. I think that's hilarious. This is what happens when your educational system totally fails and you don't know that what you're watching is pure propaganda. They'll learn. Hi, Snutter. I think that this is delightful. I really do. And they're all going to get burned on that app, and it's going to be hilarious, and I will be pointing and laughing. And for all of these Zoomers who are like giving this impression, my sound is very low. Uh, let's see if this helps. If this helps, let me know. I'm working with two microphones, so let me know. What I find hilarious about this TikTok thing is I guess that these kids were not yet. Oh, good. I guess that these kids were not yet born. Good. Thanks, Nietzsche. I guess that none of these kids were born during the age of Vine. Do you know what happened to Vine? It went away. And there were people who were doing very, very well on Vine and unfortunately went on to terrorize audiences on YouTube. You know, the talentless idiots, the Paul brothers, Gabby Hanna, Lily Singh. There was another Lily. I can't remember her name. TikTok is running because I keep on getting error messages. I really don't care one way or another. I don't give a damn. And if these family channels lose money, I don't give a shit. So I don't care if Michaela Noguera has to go elsewhere. I don't care if James Charles and the other grifters and con artists have to go to another platform. Some of them will fail. Some of them will not do well. And some of them will do very well. But if the family channels need to find a new home, I could give a fuck less. So, whatever. I just think it's funny. They're all acting like it's the end of the world. I mean, talk about a first world problem. Oh, of course, it would be running in the UK, Rosie. This Supreme Court ruling impacts the United States. And the last time I checked, ByteDance was still saying that they were not going to sell. So I don't know where these reports that Donald Trump is going to rescue it. I don't know where that came from, but I just don't give a shit, you know? I did see the news this morning that, TikTok is in the process of turning it all back on for the U.S., but how? How are they getting around that Supreme Court ruling? I don't understand. How is this even being done? So I guess I'll look into it. I don't care, but I celebrated briefly when I saw those Zoomers crying all over. Okay. And I don't understand how Trump could overrule the Supreme Court. This is what I don't get. I don't know how that is possible. But okay, I mean, if Trump is really keen on keeping the Chinese spying on American citizens, then good luck to him. I mean, it's a position, I guess. So, I saw that 3 of the hostages have been released, 3 females. And I saw the dreadful conditions surrounding their release. I saw that they were surrounded by a mob of heavily armed men and Palestinians chanting, "Kill the Jews," and little children with the Hamas headband holding up weapons, which was delightful. I saw that once again the Red Cross was willing to operate as an Uber service, but not. They have never checked on the hostages one time, the Red Cross. So they are now replicating their behavior during World War II, which they apologized for, but they're doing it all over again. One mother who asked last year for the Red Cross to pass on medications to her daughter who was being held in captivity was told, well, why don't you think about the Palestinians? Imagine saying that to a mother whose daughter had been taken hostage. And these savages in the street, the ones who were screaming and yelling, you know, the ones who we told were the victims of a genocide, who were all going out on the street, all men, by the way, I noticed, who are all well-groomed with fresh haircuts and clothing and who look very healthy to me. They don't look like they're starving at all. We're all out in the streets screaming and yelling and trying like animals to get to these girls who were being unloaded and unloaded or being loaded onto these vans. But these are the alleged victims of a genocide and a famine and everything. We were lied to about all of it. Some of us knew that, and some of us tried to tell you that it was a lie. And some of you continue to perpetuate that lie, that there were no aid trucks going into Gaza. That is a complete fucking lie. There were hundreds of aid trucks going into Gaza. It is not the fault of the Israelis that the aid was being commandeered by Hamas and being resold at inflationary or extortionate prices in the markets. That is not the fault of the Israelis. That is entirely the fault of Hamas. It is not the fault of the Israelis that there are, I believe, 95 or so hostages that were remaining under Hamas control or under the control of the families, you know, the innocent civilians that were watching these hostages. Apparently having a hostage in your home was a sign that you had really made it in Gaza. And of those, roughly 50-something are still alive. So the Israelis signed a horrendously shitty deal under pressure from Trump's horrific envoy. And I'm only saying Trump because Trump took credit for this horrendously shitty deal. So I'm going to give him the credit that he wants. The envoy that he sent is in does very close business and has close business ties with Qatar. They bailed him out to the tune of $600 million at one point. And this is the guy who got in Netanyahu's ear and persuaded him to sign this horrendously shitty deal. Now, all that I can hope for is that something happened behind the scenes, that there was an offer that was made that we're not aware of, that will sweeten the pot for Israel in some way. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is the case, because I find it impossible to believe that Netanyahu would agree to a deal this bad unless there was something being offered behind the scenes that we're not aware of. Given the commitment to eliminate Hezbollah, to eliminate Hamas, and all of a sudden he turns around, he's like, wow, you're giving us, 30 hostages that we don't get to pick? We still don't know the fate of the Bebas babies. We have no idea. We don't know what happened to those babies that were kidnapped and taken into Gaza. We have no clue. We don't know what happened to these children. And there were more than just the Bebas babies. There were others who were kidnapped and taken into Gaza. We don't know where they are. We don't know if they're dead or alive. We don't know if they've been taken in by Gazan families, never to be seen again. We have no idea. So Bibi is exchanging dangerous terrorists for corpses, possibly. And this is a very real possibility. It's a horrendous deal. Horrendous. One of the worst deals ever. Worse even than the exchange of Gilad Shalit for what? Thousands of Palestinian terrorists. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm thrilled that these girls are now out of the tunnels, away from these monsters and savages. I am thrilled about that. But these people who were in the street, not starved, not genocided, are the people that I am expected to have sympathy for. Well, why is it that you're only representing one side? Why can't you have compassion for these people? Compassion for whom, may I ask? It's like asking me to have compassion for the ISIS monsters and savages who were burning Yazidi girls alive in cages in broad daylight because they wouldn't convert to Islam. Am I supposed to have compassion for ISIS too? Because there is not a shred of difference between ISIS and these monsters in Gaza. I said what I fucking said. Anybody who doesn't like it can unsubscribe. Or you can call me a racist. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to go in one ear and out the other. I could give a fuck less. I would rather be falsely accused of being a racist than go on the record simping for the terrorists in Gaza, or indeed openly advocating for intact male rapists to be locked up with female prisoners. I will take that exchange any day of the week, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I could give a fuck less. Call me a bigot, call me a phobe, call me an ist, call me whatever you want to call me. I will always stand on the side of victims, rape victims, and victims like the kids that the do-gooders are saying need to be medicated and mutilated in the most grotesque version of conversion therapy I've seen outside of Iran. And somehow that makes me the problem. I'm not the problem. I'm not the one who history is going to judge poorly. Trust me on this one. So I decided that this morning, because I was a little bit grumpy about all the bullshit that I'm seeing online and that I've been seeing online for over a year, and all the phony baloney accusations by people who claim that they stand for victims and against predators and all that, but I see who you support. I see. And I see the vicious calumnies that you level at people who tell the truth. So I know that you're a fraud, if this is in fact what you're doing, and I'm not impressed. So I thought, okay, since we're talking about frauds and, you know, people like that, I found a video yesterday that made me roll on the floor. I was actually on the couch and I was laughing out loud, and Negs was giving me the side eyes like. So I thought I would play it for you guys today. I don't know if you guys remember a content creator called Tree of Logic. I used to watch her years ago and I thought that she had disappeared. Apparently she hasn't. And I found a fantastic video of her going at Myron Gaines, who is half of the Fresh and Fit crew, two massive grifters, part of the manosphere. And at this point, every single member of the manosphere has proven themselves to be a grifter. Whether it's converting to Islam to appeal to a larger audience, and Myron is Sudanese, so I think that he's been Muslim from birth. That's not the issue. Whether you're talking about Sneeko, the Tate brothers, whatever, this whole Islam grift is amazing. Sort of like the Christ is King grift that we've seen Candace Owens get into. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But Myron and Walter, who are Fresh and Fit, have been running this grift on 12-year-olds, incels, and other suckers for years now. And Tree found something that I had no idea had happened. And I thought it was so goddamn funny that I thought that we would all share it together. All right, so let's give Tree a listen.
Tree 401, and today I'm going to show you something that will blow your mind. And like the title says, this is not clickbait. These replies and reactions to Myron are real. And
I love it.
You can go to his Twitter to see for yourself, because not only are these clapbacks to Myron are real, but they're shocking and confusing at the
Okay, not only is Myron Gaines a grifter, a liar, a thief, and a scammer, Myron Gaines is also a raging anti-Semite, so seeing him get owned is a real treat for me. It's a real treat. I do this with the greatest pleasure. So let's continue.
Same time. And some of them are pretty funny. Now, you all know we've been documenting Fresh and Fit for a while now, and 99% of the time, the reaction to Myron's advice have always been overwhelmingly positive. But now, it appears that ship has sailed.
Oh, well.
And the blind support Myron used to have in the past is no more today.
Oh, well.
So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go over 2 tweets of his that he posted yesterday morning, August the 6th. So let's start with this one first.
Okay, now usually when I see people online reading tweets, I write them off as being lazy as fuck. This was my problem with Bo Blacks, the one who's getting dragged from pillar to post. Bo Blacks achieved fame on YouTube by literally reading tweets. And the commentary bros blew smoke up his ass and convinced him that he was this amazing content creator. Tommy C was particularly egregious in this regard, as were the others. I don't know if Nicholas Diorio jumped on this bandwagon, but Bo Blacks decided that he was going to debate Destiny on some point regarding Twitch thoughts, berating their audiences for not buying subscriptions. And Tommy C blatantly lied to that boy and told him that he won the debate, which he didn't. It was an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. To suggest that Bo Blacks could win a debate against Destiny is ridiculous. Whether you like Destiny or not, whether you agree with him or not, is not the point. The point is that Destiny is a superb debater and Bo Blacks is a moron. So they lied to Bo Blacks for years. They strung him along. They convinced him that he was this amazing content creator for reading fucking tweets on a YouTube channel. They lied to him and told him that he won a debate against Destiny, and now they're all dogpiling him because this is how the commentary community rolls. All right? So proceed with caution if you want to deal with those guys.
Yacht Party this Saturday, August the 10th, 2024 from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. We will have 100 to 200 girls, open bar, and food on a huge yacht that seats 380 people. General admission tickets are only $998 and selling fast on ffpod.org. Want to become an influencer? Come party and network with us as we IRL stream the party to our dead YouTube channel of over 1.5 million subs and Rumble of 300K subs.
My understanding is, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I remember when their YouTube channel was completely demonetized and Myron pitched a fit. The same guy who was claiming that he was this incredible real estate entrepreneur on the level of Donald Trump, and he panicked when they lost monetization on YouTube. That's why they went to Rumble. I don't know if they got their monetization back. It really doesn't matter. But they've been running grifts for fucking years. Now, I saw footage of what I think was this so-called yacht party, and it was a sausage fest. It was a bunch of men dancing together. It looked like Gaza, actually. There were like 3 women there, and it was a complete and total farce and ripoff. Unless, of course, you want to go to a party, pay top dollar to dance around with a bunch of men. There are plenty of bars that cater to that sort of thing, where you don't have to pay $998 to attend. my understanding is that there's no shortage of gay bars in Miami. If that's what you want to do, not that there's anything wrong with that, but to claim that you're gathering together as a bunch of alphas to dance with one another, child, there's another word for that. Let's continue.
Totally not bought it. Get them now while you can. ffpod.org. This will be our biggest and best party her. I think he meant here. Hold on a second. This is okay. This is a typo, not her. This is our biggest. This will be our biggest and best party here. I think he meant to say. You don't want to miss this one. And he has a promo here, and then they have the yacht. This is the last yacht.
Well, I mean, you don't want to miss it unless you know, if you really want to pay almost $1,000 to dance around with a bunch of losers, male losers, then by all means, you know, get that credit card out. If they were hoping to meet a bunch of women, sad trombone.
They did it in the last time. Now, let's get to the replies.
It's brilliant.
Will says, but if these women are all and opportunists, like you keep saying, why are you setting up your fellow man to be finessed? You seem a bit confused, brother.
How about
Myron
that?
says, there's going to be normal girls on a yacht.
Sure,
if every girl in Miami is an OF chick, go outside. Cruz on the block says, unfollow. This goes against everything you stand for. Who cares if there are 100 to 200 girls there? LMFAO, Myron says, you must be new here. I've been talking about this for months, dummy. Good riddance. MVP says, bro preaches about hoes all day.
That's right.
Post this. Man, f yourself, LOL. Myron says, are you aware I've been talking about this party for months on my podcast? You're an idiot.
Myron has a way with words when it comes to talking to the suckers that watch him and are dumb enough to take his advice. You know, there have been a lot of pictures of Myron in bed with other men, kissing men, half naked with other men, and all that kind of thing. And these idiots that follow him are really not getting the fucking memo at this point. It's amazing. But I swear to God that one of the dumbest audiences on social media is the audience for this manosphere horseshit. They want to get cheated and lied to. And so they continue watching this clown. But apparently, when it came to this so-called yacht party, very few were willing to pony up the dough. Let's continue.
Caesar the Stoic says, what kind of hypocrite is Myron? Bashes hoes all day.
That's right.
And then tweets this.
That's right.
Hypocrites of the highest order. Oh, I should have done that right. Hold on. Let me redo that again. Hypocrite of the highest order. I don't know if I did it right. I just tried. Anyway, Myron says, you clearly done watch my I think he meant to say don't. Okay. I'm not going to be picky because I do a lot of mistypes as well. So I think Myron meant to say you clearly don't watch. Okay. All right. You clearly don't watch my podcast and are new here. I've been talking about this party for months.
Okay, Anna, if you're ever in the market, or anybody watching me, if you're ever in the market for a new cow, Myron Gaines is amazing. Myron Gaines' temper tantrums on his channel are fantastic. The anger level that he gets to is amazing. And like I said, it's incredible that anyone listens to this fool for anything. And it's amazing that anybody gives him money. But then again, I don't understand the logic of giving money to girl world creators so you can trauma dump in their chats and talk about your pet dying, your mama dying, your hysterectomy, your illness, your husband leaving you, and all this. Bitch, save it for your therapist. Why are you paying Frenchie to trauma dump in her chat? Or Jordy. Jordy's is even worse. I don't get it, but let's go.
T says, network with girls? Nah, you missocialize. Networking with hoes won't bring you any business unless you're a pimp.
Well played, T.
No network with us and other streamers, card. This Slim says, I'll pass on the network. working with people whose job is to stream to 12-year-old kids. LMFAO. Mike says, LOL, another bum ratchet whole party, huh? I saw clips and vids from the last one. My weekend house party has better looking chicks, and I'm in VA. Myron says, smashing your cousin in the boonies doesn't count, you hillbilly.
Myron really knows how to fan service, doesn't he? He's so good to his audience. And Tree's laugh is everything.
So let's just read all the other comments, because I think he stopped responding after this. So I'm just gonna read the rest, and then I'm just gonna stop.
You're getting cooked.
Okay. All right. Scandinavian Patriot says, another stupid idea brought to you by Fresh. Y'all party, bro. Maybe I want to say cool now. Okay. Kruger says, you're getting cooked. Andy says, guaranteed the bimbos is getting for free. That made no sense. Okay. Karim.
You know what? I am really behind the times. I used to love covering the manosphere. I loved it because there's such a bunch of lying losers and grifters and con men, trying to make men feel worse about themselves than they already do in order to, shake them down for money. It's an amazing grift. One of the best I've seen on the platform. Absolutely fantastic. It's better than the supplements grift, although you can incorporate that in. It's better than a lot of the grifts that I've seen. The lying grift, all of these grifts. The manosphere is amazing. There aren't that many of them left who are really making any kind of an impact ever since Coach Red Pill croaked in a Ukrainian prison. But these guys are really top-notch thieves, liars, and con men.
Sam says, want to be an influencer? You lost me there, LOL. I honestly thought you were balling with your properties. Why do you need this? 100, 200 girls? What is this? This is going to be a boat full of simps. He ain't lying on that one, okay?
It is what it is.
Dex says, bro preaches not getting married or starting a family until the arbitrary age, but then post this as an alternative.
That's right.
I'll stick to praising God with my wife and many white children. Tanny says, what?
Jesus Christ. If these guys are so hard up, just hire a hooker. Go to a brothel, dude. It's not that hard. You don't have to pay Myron fucking Gaines or, God forbid, that idiot Walter to figure out a way to meet women and to be an alpha. Just, go and hire a prostitute, hire an escort, one and done. You're done with that, right? But imagine taking advice from fucking Myron and Walter. If you ever see these two guys together, you just have to shake your head at how desperate and ridiculous these men are.
Big degenerate boat fest. It's evil genius. They keep degeneracy going only to mock degeneracy in their shows to then create more degeneracy, and the cycle just continues. Abby says, only Myron bashes girls all day long and then does a yacht party event.
That's right.
Them.
That's
Double
right.
standards, bro. And then we got only $9.98. Okay, I'm tired of reading. Let me just go through this. Okay, let's see. 100 to the girl. So as you can see, they're not having it. Okay,
no, I love it.
Somebody. I think this is the first positive response yet. I like the idea.
Yeah, right.
I'd rather put pins in my eyes. WFNF don't want to miss this opportunity. Fire, 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 fire.
And these are his fans, by the way. These are his fans. They're reacting this way. It's brilliant.
Fire. Selling so fast, there's still tickets available 24 hours later. Myron Gaines, the type to cry about women being whores, then rent a boat full of whores.
That's right. That's right.
Damn! this. I swear to God. Okay, I don't. Okay, this is it. He's starting to get more complacent, but he's getting.
Tree's laugh is everything.
All right, okay, that's it. All right, I'm not gonna read no more. If you want to go see it, as you can see right here, he posted it on August the 6th at 10:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's look at the second tweet right here. And this one is just as good. Before a man thinks about getting married, he needs 5 things in place.
Okay.
1, be 35 or older.
Okay.
2, be in shape. 3, make $100K plus a year.
Okay.
4, have 6 to 12 months of salary saved. 5, have had sex with 50 girls or more. Before you start bitching, I'll explain.
Oh, good.
1, at the age of 35, you will probably be coming into your stride and have enough life experience to be competent leader to a young, submissive woman.
Submissive,
2,
of course.
If you're fat, you have no business dating. Non-negotiable. Hey, Myron, did you tell that to Chris and Mo? No? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, 3, 100K in 2024 isn't much and can be made if you work hard. Anyone can earn 100K a year with the internet. No excuses.
Okay, got it.
4, most Americans are financially retarded and can't afford an emergency $500 bill without going into debt.
All right.
Live paycheck to paycheck and have little to no savings. Don't be a tard like them.
Okay.
Now the big one. 5, having sex with 50 women will give you a general sense of hypergamy and expose you to the dark side of female nature that no one talks about.
Okay, well, you do realize, don't you, that his audience is comprised entirely of incels, and his audience is also really young. And this is the advice he's giving. You know, Jordan Peterson tells you to wash your ass and clean your room. And this is the advice that Myron Gaines is giving these kids who are stupid enough to watch him. Let's go.
You have to get your heart broken, finessed, and learn through trial and tribulations how to date modern women. Wait a minute. He wants you guys to get finessed? Oh. That's why he keeps inviting OF women on the podcast, because he wants them to finesse his audience. Okay, I get it now. I get it. No, I don't. I'm just being very sarcastic here. Anyway, the days of finding a virgin wife that will accept you as a normal guy and submit are done. It's not your parents' 1950s American.
No, it isn't.
How the hell would you know, Myron? Your parents came from Sudan. They got here by being immigrants, all right? Shut up. Stop acting new. Blame feminism, not me.
Okay.
You have to deal with the new normal of rude, fat, feminist type of women that don't generally respect men.
You know what's adorable? And I keep on repeating this. Every time I see a picture of Myron in bed with another man, or like naked from the waist up with his arm around another man, you know, nibbling on a guy's ear, or exclusively in the company of men, I have never seen Myron Gaines in the company of women apart from his podcast. Now, you know, you decide what you want to decide about what you can conclude from that. I know what I know, okay? Or I know what I suspect. And I'm not alone in my suspicions. I mean, we know that Walter is at least straight because he knocked up some Chinese woman. That turned into a whole fucking drama with an abortion and everything else. All of these guys are complete and utter goddamn frauds. You know, they're all frauds. And the sad thing is that you see these other channels where you have men sitting at a table with like 5, 6, 7 good-looking women with their tits out. And the only reason that the women are there is to get abused and harangued by the male host. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. And I don't know if Myron and Walter pay these women to sit on panel with them, or if they just go down to South Beach and round them up, or if they're all OnlyFans girls or cam girls or whatever. But it's just a joke. It's a fucking joke. And I've seen it on more than one channel.
You need to be able to identify these women. They always put on a front to fool you. And quickly put them in the sex-only category.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, Tree, your laugh.
Oh my God, there's so much to say about this, but I'm going to save it for my stream. I'm not even going to waste it on this video. Anyway, the only way you will be able to do that is if you have an abundance mindset, because women can no longer leverage sex against you for compliance. That is most men's biggest F up, and why women wear the pants in most relationships. If she can't control you through sex, she has no power and must respect you. You can replace her at any time.
Okay.
And that's when women treat you the best. When their spot is not secure. Keep thinking this. This is delusional.
Yep.
This is so delusional.
It is delusional.
Oh my God, this is so good. As crazy and counterproductive as this sounds, and it is, this is actually what women yearn for.
Don't we yearn for this?
A man that
we
can
yearn
look
for this.
her in the eye and tell her GTFO and not give an F. Yeah.
That would be great, wouldn't it? A man that can look her in the eye and tell her to get the fuck out and not give a fuck. That is my dream relationship. Sounds like a real winner, doesn't it? I'd be living the dream. Wouldn't we be living the dream, ladies? It would be fantastic.
Yeah, I dare you guys to do this, okay?
Yep.
You will never get a quality woman.
Never.
If you want to have your children that will put up with this.
Never,
okay? This is
never.
nonsense. Oh my God. Anyway, the most attractive man is a man that doesn't simp or allow women to control him. It's the highest form of demonstrating higher value, which will make her respect and submit to you.
Okay.
You're welcome. From the big brother you never had. Now, let's look at those comments.
Okay.
Musa says, total BS. Have sex with 50 girls. This guy's a degenerate. Calling to degeneracy. Avoid him at all costs, especially Muslims.
Especially Muslims.
Also, get married young, like by 25. His 35, I think he meant to see. I think he meant to say he's 35 and not married. He's messed. Okay, let me read this all over again, because I think instead of him saying his, it's supposed to say he's. Or say, okay. Also, get married young, like by 25. He's 35. Actually, he's 36. Yeah, he's 36. He's just 1 year younger, okay? He's 35 and not married, and he's messed up and wants you to be messed up too. Myron, return back to Allah.
What I love about this is that Myron is an actual Muslim. And this is the advice he's giving. But, okay, I'm not familiar with this form of Islam, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not Muslim. Myron would know, I guess.
Myron says, SDFU haram police. Woke Resistance says, wait till you're 35 before getting married? That is the stupidest, dumbest advice you can give a man. So by the time their kids are 20, he's already 60? Don't listen to him, guys. 25 is the age to get married. Even younger if you're financially capable. Myron says, LMFAO, let's see how you deal with the divorce machine, bro.
Amazing.
Brian Keith Wheeler Sr. says, I got married when I was 26. I am nearly 44, and I believe getting married young is the best plan. No hate, bro, because I have no regrets at all. And I did not have any money at all when I got married. My wife and 2 boys are the best.
What does he know?
And Myron doesn't respond to
No,
this.
I'll bet he doesn't.
Respond to unfiltered truth. Terrible advice. I'm 25 with 6 months saved, make over 100K, in shape, and married. My wife and I have shared goals and visions for our future. Christ is at the center of our marriage.
What the fuck are you doing in Myron Gaines' audience? Why are you watching this loser?
Your advice is predicated on the beliefs that you can't have success while married, that women hold men back.
Right.
This is furthest from the truth. Find a good woman, and she'll push you 10 times as far as you could have done by yourself. Myron says, you're 25 and don't know S. Just because you found a religion religious woman doesn't mean a majority of men will in a secular society like America.
Okay.
You trans have zero concept of the modern sexual marketplace. Keep in mind, your wife reserves the right to divorce you and take your crap whenever she wants, thanks to the no-fault divorce laws.
And
all that Christ talk will fly out the window when she's in family court trying to take your kids and money from you. Ask Steven Crowder if you don't believe
Steven
me. No,
Crowder.
Not you, Steven Crowder.
Not Steven Crowder. Are you fucking
Really,
serious?
Nothing changes from being 35 in your scenario. The exact same thing can happen at any age.
Exactly.
Get married, praise God, produce as many babies as possible. Don't listen to tards who make money online ranting all the time. Oh my God. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Say it again, say it again. Exactly. Myron's advice is not for traditional whites. It's for degenerates like himself. Okay, Lex says,
okay.
Myron, have you been married? No, I have been married for 11 years, and nothing you say here is true. I do go along with some red pill statement, but nothing here in this tweet is true. Myron says, and that's why you have a cartoon avatar.
Beautiful.
STFU. Oh man, what a comeback. Dude,
what a comeback,
Myron,
exactly.
You used to have a cartoon avatar.
That's right.
Last week.
Yep.
You just replaced your cartoon avatar 3 days ago. Hypocrite much? So Lex reply and says, avatar don't define the person. Take care, bro. And he shows a picture of him and his beautiful wife. And Myron says, if you took my advice, you would have been able to marry a woman that isn't a low mid.
Imagine talking this way to your audience. I mean, Frenchie does, but wow.
This is not the W you think it is. D says, the man is married for 11 years with a woman he loves with whom he probably has kids. And your comment is that it isn't a W because you don't find her hot?
Yep.
Just shows how much you literally don't care about marriage or family values. Why would anyone listen to you? Natalie says, Myron is a 3 in the looks category and had the nerve to call out another man's wife. This is why I...
Creek, thank you so much for the 10 memberships. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to tell everybody. I forgot to tell you guys. You guys and others, I have gotten numerous requests to revive the bullhorn. Well, I couldn't find the Shea Corbin bullhorn. I ordered another one in a lovely shade of Elphaba green. I think it might be arriving today. So I'm hoping by the time the next stream happens, I will have the bullhorn. And if I had the bullhorn, I would give you a big fat bullhorn shout out. Creek, thank you. I promise that in my next stream or the next time that I stream that I have the bullhorn, I will give you the proper recognition. Thank you so much.
I abhor the red pill BS. It's all vain and stupid. Joe says, you're an appalling misogynist.
No kidding.
Myron says, and you're an appalling... I can't say this word. Brittany says, okay, I don't like Brittany, so I'm not even going to read what she says. Forget Brittany. Okay, and I think he doesn't respond to anybody else here. So I'll just read a little bit of this, and then I'll stop further down. OJ.
Wait. Okay, she's going to read
Myron,
it.
Myron, you're not even a Muslim. You're not an American either. You're an apostate.
An apostate.
Sudan, and you're despised by Muslims and Americans alike. You have no allies. You have no home. Oh,
damn.
You exist solely to get laughed at. Oh my God. I've never seen this before. I swear to God, I've never seen this before ever in his reply.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
The next one, who does E. Omar, I think that's how you said it. He says, 1, don't take marriage advice from a person not in a happy marriage with kids.
Good
2,
plan.
don't set targets for money or age. Be stable and don't live above your means. 3, by the way, so far so good. Any grown man who places value on quantity of sexual partners isn't ready to give family advice.
Correct.
See number 1.
Yep.
They cooking them. Oh my God.
Totally.
Oh my God. Okay, this is ridiculous advice. I gotta disagree with you on this one. Guy who runs away from marriage and long-term commitments, trying to teach others about marriage and commitments.
That's right.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't want.
That's why I absolutely love it when you've got these people going through divorce, or people who have been divorced, or people who have never been in a relationship, or people who are shut-ins and miserable, who are out there judging other people's relationships. It tickles me. Maybe they should team up with Myron and they can do a relationship podcast, since they're all such experts.
I want to be 60 and my son 20 years old. Of course, Castle Club daily going to always swing from the nuts, okay? If you take relationship marital advice from a stranger influencer, you are retarded. That's the guy that's not married with no children. To those reading, may God provide you with, okay, I don't care about this. This is targeted, anti-family, and degenerate. Okay.
Oh, there's Walter.
Fresh updates here.
Yeah.
This is going to be my last one. For a man who thinks, okay, I can't say this word. I don't want to. Okay, let me just clean this one up. For a man who thinks cat is gross, sex with 50 girls must be a nightmare.
Imagine. Imagine.
Okay, I got to give him a clap for that one. Okay,
That is absolutely. Lou Perez, you are a legend. Thank you.
And then he has a picture of a video from a YouTube. I'm not going to read this. If you're looking at the screen, you can read it for yourself.
Amazing.
Okay, and as you can see, it's a lot of pushback. He
Good.
is getting cooked.
Good.
I mean,
About fucking time.
dragging him in the replies. I've never seen this before in my life, and it's glorious.
I love it.
And there you have it, folks.
Thank you, Tree.
I wouldn't have believed this if I didn't see it for myself. And guess what? I didn't even scratch the surface. There were tons of replies clapping back at Myron.
Good.
And I never seen him get dragged like this before in my life. This goes to show you, ladies, that the red pill is officially dead.
Good.
Now, don't get me wrong.
About
it
fucking
will morph
time.
into something else. And when it does, I'll be right there to clown it as usual. So let me know what you think by leaving a comment below this video. Don't forget to give it a like. And if you're a woman and new to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you either on my next live stream or in the comments. Later, taters.
Okay, so that was Tree. I put the link to the video in chat. Now, don't believe based on what you just, hey Sarah, don't believe based on what you just heard, or don't get the wrong impression. Tree is very, very right wing. Okay. Tree is not a feminist. Tree is not on the left. Tree is not a liberal. Tree is very, very right wing. Okay. So when you've got a right wing woman like Tree going after Myron, it is gorgeous. The red pill movement is a fucking sham. It has been for years. It might have started off like the manosphere. You know, the men's rights movement may have started off as a way to push back against divorce law and child custody laws and child support laws and all that kind of shit. It is morphed into a straight up fucking grift. And it has been a grift for years. And I'm glad that people are beginning to see through it. It's a joke. It's a joke. And then you've got the feminists, you know, picking up the manosphere or the men's rights mantra by advocating, instead of advocating for women, advocating for AGPs and cross-dressers and others. It's just a farce. It's a farce. Right. So I thought that today, since we were talking about love and marriage and relationships, and we just heard Myron's take and the response to it, I found an amazing video on Phat Cow's channel. Now, there are certain morals to Phat Cow's story. One is, if you are going to travel overseas, okay, and you are going to try to go native, or you are going to try to make a go of it in a foreign country, for fuck's sake, would you please at least make a minimal effort to read up on the culture of that country? Because contrary to what people have been telling you for years and years and years, contrary to what all the SJWs and the others have been saying and brainwashing you to believe, not all cultures are the same. Not all cultures are the same, and you could end up getting in a lot of trouble. Now, you can watch Locked Up Abroad to get an idea that not all justice systems are the same, not all systems are run with clean, pristine criminal justice systems. The police in other countries are incredibly corrupt. You just have to be careful when you're traveling, especially if you are traveling as a woman by yourself. You have to be careful. Now, Phat Cow learned a lesson the hard way. She didn't learn a lesson, thank God, as brutally as she could have, but it was bad. All right, so here's Phat Cow. Let me bring her up. This is amazing. I ran into this and I thought, wow. Now I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to assume that she's not lying in this video. All right, so let's give it a listen. How I accidentally got married.
Hello.
Oh my God.
It's me, Phat Cow.
Mm-hmm.
I have the lurgy. I caught it off somebody who I live with.
Now I learned, I had to go back into the vault on the farms, and apparently this tattoo business that she's got on her face, she did it all herself. Okay, this is a self drawn tattoo on her face, and the tribal stuff on the chin and everything else. She did it on her own. Let's continue.
I caught it off somebody I interacted with, and thus we've all learned how viruses work. Anyway, I have a story.
Tell it.
This is a story I've never told anybody else.
So tell the internet. What could possibly go wrong?
There's no shame in it, so I don't know why, but still. But I'm telling it now because it's going to prove something very, very particularly to do with what's currently going on.
Okay, now this woman has made an entire channel where she constantly criticizes foodie, and she considers herself to be something of an expert on life in Muslim or Arab countries. So let's give it a listen.
Now, if I start this story with, it didn't happen in a pharmacy, but...
I don't even know what the pharmacy thing is referring to.
When I first arrived in the Middle Eastern country that I lived in for over a decade.
Oh, so she lived in a Middle Eastern country for over a decade. I don't know if she converted to Islam. I think she may have, but I'm not entirely positive. And I think that the country she's referring to is Egypt, based on the story that she's going to tell. I don't know anything about this woman. I'm just putting pieces together. Let's continue.
I garnered the interest of a particular young man who I worked with.
Okay.
This is not the person that became my husband. This was somebody within the first month or so. It got to the point where he wished for me to meet his family, and I just thought it was the thing that, people who were friends did. It was a nice gesture, I'd only just arrived in the Middle East. I didn't understand exactly what was going on.
Big mistake.
I didn't understand that agreeing to have a coffee with a member of the opposite sex was basically agreeing to a date, when me from another culture just thinks it's coffee, So, anyway.
Unbelievable naivete. Unbelievable.
We talk, and his father is very concerned that his son doesn't do anything sinful. So when I finally get the gist of where this is going, and I think, well, yeah, I mean, I'm a bit lonely. He's nice. I'd like to date this guy. His father produces a piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
Now, this piece of paper turns out to be an earthy marriage certificate.
Okay. Now, earthy marriages are mostly practiced in Egypt and Tunisia. It's a temporary marriage. In Shia Islam, it's called mutta. And mutta is used in countries like Iran and Lebanon as a kind of like religious fig leaf to justify prostitution. You can draw up an agreement with a woman. You can be married for as little as an hour or 2 hours, and then the marriage is in effect over. Okay, so that is how prostitutes can work in countries where there is a large Shia population. In other countries, you have a nikah. This is a form of nikah marriage, what she is discussing. Now, there is obviously an extremely dark side to this kind of marriage. I've left an article, a link to an article in the description box of this chat or of this stream from the Middle East Forum talking about wealthy Gulf Arabs who go to very poor parts of India, Hyderabad specifically, and they enter into these temporary marriages with underage girls. So girls are sold to these men. And it's very popular. So, these wealthy Arabs will go to India the way that white guys will go to Thailand or the Philippines to hook up with children, basically. So let's continue.
So, me thinking, well, actually, this isn't a big deal because this isn't legal. It doesn't actually mean anything, in my opinion.
In
Obviously,
your
this is
opinion.
before I converted, or even.
Oh, so she is
entertained
Muslim.
The idea of declaring myself or surrendering myself to a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it wasn't a big deal. It was literally just something to, basically, earthy is a way of marrying in
Right.
the eyes of God, which I didn't believe in at that time, to kind of justify having intimate relationships with someone so that you're not actually sinning, technically, but it's not legally recognised at all. And it's usually done in secret, and it's usually not something that is declared to people most of the time, but it can be used to kind of to circumnavigate certain things
Right.
that require people to be married, like staying in hotels together. So the father, who was a lovely man, takes out this piece of paper and marries us in his front room.
Okay, now, typically these type of marriages do require 2 witnesses, and they do require a guardian. So obviously this whole arrangement was incredibly, incredibly shady. And I'm going to read you something here. Let's see. Okay, couples married in this way often meet in secret and avoid the expense of renting an apartment. The Urfi marriage can be disastrous for the wife in legal terms. Now, keep in mind, this is a temporary marriage. If the husband leaves her without granting a divorce, she has no legal right to seek a divorce, since Urfi is considered illegal. Her husband could remarry. The wife is in a more difficult position. If the wife remarries, she can be accused of polyandry, which is punishable by 7 years in prison in Egypt, or she could remain single for the rest of her life. Now, obviously, since Fat Cow here was not intending on staying in Egypt permanently, she could have gotten away with this, but to suggest that you can just sit down and just because you're not a believer in the Muslim faith does not mean that you get out of trouble if you sign your name to a document of this type. It's very, very, very dangerous, extremely risky, and incredibly, unbelievably, mind-bogglingly stupid to have done it. The fact that this woman traveled to where I presume is Egypt, and she didn't do any research, and she just thought, oh, well, you know, who cares? I'll just do whatever I want. No, this is how Westerners get in trouble in these countries.
Me and the other guy sitting on a sofa. I'd been in the Middle East maybe a month. I just wanted to date him. He wanted to circumnavigate the sin of being intimate with me. So we married in the eyes of God. I mean, not for me, because at the time I didn't believe, but for them, okay, if it gave them peace of mind, fine.
Incredible.
And the last thing his dad said to me was, if she gets pregnant, you have to marry properly. Okay?
Hey, Lucille.
Anyway, a month after that, I went back to visit my family. And when I come back, my husband told me he had divorced me in my absence because he didn't believe that I would be faithful when I went back to England.
And that's the other problem. Divorce in Islam can be very, very easy. If the only thing that is holding you together is a religious marriage that is not recognized by the state, or these stupid bullshit temporary marriages where you can find, I mean, obviously she didn't care, but imagine if you're an Egyptian woman, and all that you have declaring that you are married is, you know, a nikah, you could end up getting massively, massively fucked over. Massively. So let's continue.
And the way he divorced me was by saying, I divorce you 3 times. So that was great. Anyway, I thought I'd share this because although it wasn't in a pharmacy, you can actually have an earthy marriage.
Yes.
Anywhere. So, no. Because, I mean, I'd argue that someone accusing you of being married in a pharmacy is a very specific detail to the narrative.
Is it? It's actually incredibly retarded. Who cares where you get married? But anyway, all of these so-called marriages are very, very, very risky. Again, I keep on repeating this because it needs to be said. If you are traveling overseas, particularly to a Muslim country, please don't be as stupid as this woman was when she traveled to what I presume is Egypt. Don't fucking do it. You have to have your head examined if you're not aware of the local customs. I would say, if you're traveling to a country like that and you're on your own, never, ever, ever be alone with a man in one of those countries. You have no legal rights, none. These shitty bullshit pieces of paper. I mean, again, in her case, she got very lucky. Don't sign anything. Be very careful when you go visit that person's family. This is just a practical piece of advice. And just because you got hoodwinked into this arrangement in Egypt, it does not mean that you have any greater knowledge. Again, it's called mutta in Shia Islam. It's a nikah marriage. Urfi is specific to Egypt and Tunisia. There are other forms of these temporary so-called marriages out there. The man can get rid of you at any time. If you have any delusions that the relationship is legitimate, you're going to find out the hard way.
It's not like they said it was in your home or, you know, your front room. A pharmacy. Very specific detail. Anyway, I'm talking a load of rubbish. Well,
You are.
I'm telling the truth. I'm just, when I say I'm talking a load of rubbish, I mean I'm waffling. Anyway, that's my story. I got married in the front room of somebody else's house on the sofa, having popped in after work to have a cup of tea. And yes, I was very naive to
Very.
the nuances
Very.
of the culture, and I accidentally ended up dating some people because I agreed to have a coffee with them, not knowing that this meant we were dating, when actually I thought I was just having a conversation with a superior at work about work stuff. So yeah, go figure. And before you come to me saying, so you didn't actually get married legally, did you? This was a 2-month period within the first 4 months of me being in the Middle East. I did actually legally get married in a courthouse with a judge, and one of the witnesses was my father-in-law.
Okay.
And I can talk you through that process too, if you want. All right? And yes, I agree. I'm an idiot.
Yep. Okay, now you guys are going to have to help me, because one of the videos that I've been looking for is when she got all hot and bothered and upset when Chantal went after Shani, and this woman was white knighting for Shani. Imagine that you are so mad at Chantal that you white knight for Shani. Imagine. So I am dying to find it. And honestly, this woman's content is so infuriating that I do not have the patience to go through all the videos one by one and find that video. But I really, really want all of us to watch it together, because I am dying at the thought of somebody white knighting for that woman. I am just like, I mean, either this is the stupidest woman on the internet and didn't know what Shani's background was. Oh, Shani reacted to it too. Okay, I'll find it that way. But next time, I promise, I'm going to do some research. And hopefully by then, I'll have my bullhorn, my Elphaba green bullhorn, so I can give her the proper reaction that she deserves. Whatever. So anyway, okay, I'm off. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm hungry. It's 3:00. I can't believe it's this late. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Creek, for the memberships. I appreciate you. And I will see you the next time. Thanks, guys. Thank you again.